Welcome back to the show. Wow, are we excited? I feel like a schoolgirl, I tell you. What I want to do, I'm so happy, we are so happy, I'd like to introduce Mr. Frank Sinatra Jr. to the show. Frank, thanks for coming on the show today. I don't even know my name anymore. I'm so excited. This is great. We're so honored.
Just nice to you invited me to your house today.
Aww,
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And by the way, it's cheating to make the introduction twice.
Oh. There you go. I'm sorry. There you go. Spoken like a true professional, so I will take that advice to heart.
No,
thanks, Frank.
You got to roll with the punches.
You have to be real, right?
This is great.
Did you ever see Dean Martin on television?
All the time.
Dean Martin one time got up on his television show, and it was Christmas. And he had a thing with his pianist, a man named Ken Lane, used to play for him, and he'd jump on the piano and he'd say, "I hurt my tutu." Right? Okay. And it was Christmas, and he had to sing Christmas carols, so he was looking into the camera. He said, "All right, let's do the first one." And he says, "Leon, Leon, Lee." No, turn it over. Turn it over. No, well, Leon.
That's so good.
So that's what I mean. Don't ever do things twice like that.
You got me so nervous, I couldn't help it.
No.
Frank, we have so much to talk to you about. We did so much research. We're so excited to have you here. So why don't we just get into it? The first question I would have to say is, congratulations on what a successful career you've had.
Who told you that?
I don't know. I just sort of, Googled a few things here and there.
No. I just, the one thing I have been able to accomplish, if there's anything, is that I've been able to keep working.
That's great. Yeah, and that's very hard.
And it's in this industry is saying something. Yeah.
And you're... Not only is Frank not only are you a fantastic singer, but you also have a great history in television and film. So congratulations on that. Yes.
Thank you.
Now take us through, I guess, let's start, we're going to move it along because obviously you have such an extensive career. Let's move it along.
A little bit about his childhood.
Yeah.
When did you start singing and know that you had this gift?
I didn't have a gift, huh? No, I wanted to be a pianist and I wanted to be a composer when I was a young guy during the Punic Wars. And I was... in music school and playing with bands, playing piano and everything, and one night a singer got drunk somewhere, and the band leader said, "We need a singer." "You." I said, "Me." "Why me?" He said, "Well, you're Sinatra, ain't you?" And I said, "Being that doesn't make me a singer any more than my standing in a garage makes me a car." And I mean, that's a little silly, don't you? He said, "No, shut up and work." So it just happened.
You got up and did it?
It was by accident. Yes, ma'am.
Now,
yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Obviously, there's the dynamic of the family, your siblings, and your father. So there must have been music all around. So were you did you get sort of?
Would you start that again? Your glasses fell down.
I like that though.
I didn't recognize you.
We have a regular Milton Berle here in the studio. So were you sort of pushed into the world of music through your dad and your sisters, or not really? Not at all.
No.
That was your choice.
I started taking piano lessons when I was 5.
Okay.
Wow.
And after that, it just kind of grew. And one day, it occurred to me when I was in college, gee, the time may come when I might have to go out and get a job. I can't be a student all my life. And I figured I better to do something maybe I have a little talent for. And the only thing I could think up was music.
Were your mom and dad supportive to go into that field?
No,
or
they really
didn't
go one way or the other. They said he has to make his own way, And I tell my people often, they were going to make me chief of staff at General Motors, but I just couldn't think of leaving my old buddies.
That's really good. Now, and then going through now, see, like it says here, like you're around 19. Is that when you kind of sort of found your voice, if you will, a little bit?
Sir. No. What happened at 19, I was offered a job with what was called a dance band then.
Okay.
And I went out on the road with a dance band. That's kind of, nowadays I think of it as an internship.
Internship, okay. Mm-hmm. And so how long did you sort of, hone your craft until the time when you finally, you're always doing it. When did you finally, get sort of recognition that people are going, Frank
is
Jr. is
something
really, he's like, when do you finally...
I couldn't pinpoint such a
Pinpoint
thing.
that.
There are some places I go where it is yet to happen.
Okay, yeah. Exactly, okay.
No, see, I didn't recognize you again. Those
I know,
glasses
it's my
came
glasses.
down.
My glasses are nervous, that's why. They keep on
see.
falling down.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your last name a little bit, Frank. So your last name, obviously it's world renowned. Okay, so for yourself, strictly for yourself, did you find, let's go through some pros and cons, highs and lows with your last name. Did people sort of expect
A lot from
of you, or?
Oh, sure. But the fact is, as I say often, I am not famous. I just have a famous name. And I believe that is a very objective description. The truth is this... Shakespeare said, "What's in a name?"
Okay.
Rodney Dangerfield just say Shakespeare. You're going to listen to me. You're going to listen to your friends. But the fact is, no. I don't pay much attention to that. It's actually a very common name.
It is?
Oh yes, it's a very common name.
Have you ever ran across anybody named Sinatra
No,
before?
I have not.
don't, really?
You're the
I
first person.
take some pills. Are you familiar? I bet you people my age in your studio, if you're familiar with omega-3 oil.
I take that now.
Okay.
And your complexion.
Oh, what a connection. Here we go.
Okay. People say we have nothing in common. There are pills of omega-3, which is in essence a fish oil.
Yes.
And there's a man named Dr. Steven Sinatra who has made this formula.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just, one of those things.
Ash, you got to ask
So
him.
how-
Yeah, you just opened up a can of worms for
I know,
Ash.
I get so
No,
excited.
fish oil.
But she's all into that.
I'm
so
all into like natural, and is that how you keep young and alive and vibrant?
She's natural?
No, you're natural.
You're
And
natural.
she's
She's natural.
Yeah, she's
Sit back a minute.
Money shot. Love it. That's great. Ash, you got to teach you, give him a whole lesson
No,
on
but
on
I
this.
asked you, I'm like, I wonder what his hobbies are. I wonder what he does to
If
keep,
I
like,
had been
zen.
born a woman, I'd like to be as natural as that. I'll tell you that right there.
It's a lot of kickboxing. Do you
Kickboxing.
work out? It keeps you fit.
You do kickboxing?
Yes, I do. You do kickboxing too?
No.
I don't look like I can do kickboxing?
I don't know whether you do or not. I just wonder what's the point in that.
You know what? Honestly, it really lifts your bum. No, I swear it really does. That's the honest truth.
That's a great. I love that.
Do you
That's
work
great.
out?
I'd rather work in, actually. No, I am not one of the exercise nuts. No.
But you seem like very zen, grounded.
Yeah, you're
like,
so grounded. What do you do to be so calm?
Yeah.
Well, at my age, I can afford to be.
Okay.
It's...
You've seen it all, been there, done that, maybe?
Well, I don't want you to think that, being blasé is one thing, but that's just kind of boring to other people. But the fact of the matter is that I'm visiting in a city that I have been visiting for 55 years.
55 years.
Yeah.
And you obviously must have seen Toronto change like dramatically.
Oh, are you kidding?
What do you think of our city, of our wonderful city?
This is the going town in Canada.
Is it?
Well, frankly, it always has been. You don't want that word to be heard, that saying, if you happen to go east into French Canada. They don't like hearing that over there.
Yes. Oh, of course. Or the West. They
And
don't
they
like
would
it
say,
either.
"Oh, Toronto, who est que c'est?" They say all the time. And I have been in this country. I was talking to Jenna, my contact at the casino, Rama, and I looked at her last night. I said, "What the hell kind of Canadian are you? I mean, I've been places in Canada you haven't been."
There you go.
And I said, "You never went to the Northern Territories? You've never been to Yellowknife?" And she said, "No." I said, "What kind of Canadian are you? You've never been up to Newfoundland? You've never been in the Maritimes?"
Peterborough, so I'm
I
really
made
bad.
a movie at Peterborough once, many years ago.
Ronnie Hawkins lives up there, actually.
Yeah,
Ronnie
no,
Hawkins,
it's
yeah.
all along this side of the lake.
Okay.
When you figure all the way down to Windsor. But this is the going town in the sense of just the activities here.
Oh, it is the hub of Canada, obviously. For sure.
I would think.
Business,
yeah.
entertainment,
Well,
social.
Canada is big enough geographically that it has room for varied personalities.
Absolutely.
There are places in Alberta that are unbelievable. Banff, you know.
Love Banff.
East
And
Coast
then
and West
there
Coast.
are places in British Columbia. You know, Vancouver is another going town.
Yes, it is.
But this is the big town here.
So what
always has been.
Do you travel a lot? Are you traveling a lot right now?
Oh, yeah.
Just all over the world, all the time.
Oh yes.
What's your favorite country?
Yeah, what's your favorite country?
Wherever they like
You want to
us.
come to India? You should come to India with us.
We'll bring you to
one day.
India. We'll bring
Do
you to
wanna
India.
come to India?
Oh, I don't know about going to India.
Chalo?
Yeah, we'll bring you to India. Namaste, we'll bring you to India.
What does she know about India?
That's a whole other show. We just got back from India a couple of months ago, and she just returned recently.
May I say pyar kati ho?
Hey, watch your language.
That's great. Yeah, we'll bring you to India, Frank. We love you to come over with us. If you would
Well,
like to
I
come.
heard some nasty stories about India.
Why?
Well, I heard, for example, the planes that go there, there's an airline called Air India.
Oh, I
That's
thought
what we went on. That's what we went on. We went
Okay,
on.
all
Yeah.
right. They say that you have a wonderful 10-course dinner in first class on Air India, and the people in tourist have permission to come up front and beg.
No.
That's a joke.
Okay, I was going to say.
That's a
I
joke.
was going to say, come on.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
And it was a good one. No, but we'll bring you. We're going to bring you to India. We'll bring you to India.
Well, it depends. We have to see what's going on just now. No, India is a very interesting place. I've never been there personally, but I know many people from there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place. The people there are fantastic.
I took
Oh, yeah.
Jay to.
Yeah, we went.
It's very interesting when you consider geopolitically, for many, many, many years now, they say that China is the most populous country on earth.
Oh, China's amazing.
It has been predicted that between 2020 and 2050, India will eclipse China as the most populous
It's
country.
crazy there. It's so popular. We went there.
Yeah.
I was amazed by how busy it was. There was just so many people there. It was,
Oh yeah.
It was like not like here.
Right.
Obviously, there's no people in Canada compared to.
You didn't like my joke about.
I
the
loved
plane.
your
Oh,
joke.
okay.
I loved your joke. I did.
Do you eat Indian
I
food?
loved his joke. I loved it.
I did when I was your age. Now at my age, my stomach doesn't want to play anymore. Curry doesn't agree with me now.
No.
People my age will tell you that it's very daring when you get to be my age to try to eat curry.
Let me ask you. I know we're getting sidetracked, which I love, because I'm sure this is probably the first type of conversation you had about India with, other than. Sure,
I've
that's
been in
different. I like that.
81 countries.
You haven't been to India?
India is not one of them.
Well,
we're
it's meant
taking
to
you.
be. We
We're
met
taking
each
you.
other for a reason.
We're
See?
taking you. Well, you probably don't want me to come. You might just want to go with that. You just might want to go with Ashlee, but I'm coming anyways.
No. I did at first, but no. She might use me as a kickboxing target. I don't want that now.
See, let's
I'm
get
your
back.
bodyguard. I'll be your bodyguard.
Okay, let's get back to music a little bit. When we have Mr. Sinatra in the studio, and we got to talk a little bit about music. I want to pick your brain if I can. Okay, best era in music, your opinion. What was the best era for
Well,
music?
now wait a minute.
Okay.
Classical music, jazz music, what kind of music?
Say kind of just in general.
Popular vocal.
Yeah.
I would say beginning in the 1920s, during the infancy and the youth of people like Irving Caesar, George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, people like that who were giving forth melodies that were beautiful, interesting, harmonies to support those melodies that were beautiful and interesting. And then we get to the lyrics.
Okay.
I was thinking the other day, I was listening to, there was a man named Lawrence Hart who wrote with Richard Rodgers for many, many years. And Lawrence Hart wrote a verse to a song one time, a very sad song, which was called Glad to Be Unhappy.
Okay.
And the lyric, I was listening to it, he said, look at yourself. If you had a sense of humor, you would laugh to beat the band.
Wow.
Somebody who's just all worn down from a broken
right.
heart, right? Look at yourself. Do you still believe the rumor that romance is simply grand? And the next line is, since you took it right on the chin, you have lost that bright toothpaste grin.
Wow. That's very,
I mean, this kind of
poetic
poetry,
and,
right? But
yeah.
I mean, and you consider, we had people pouring their hearts and their souls into lyric writing and melody writing, and that's all gone now.
Okay.
That is all gone. And I'm thinking people now today like to call this the Great American Songbook, which I believe is a rather racist comment.
Okay.
And considering that we have people like Anthony Newley and Leslie Bricusse, and we have people like Antonio Carlos Jobim, we have people like James Last,
Now, would these be
who
some of
happen
your,
to come from other countries, you know?
Would they also be your inspiration a little bit, some of these people that you just
Absolutely.
mentioned?
They are trying to apply thinking. I was talking today on a radio program years ago. I had a friend who I was very fond of, who's been dead now 20 years, a man by the name of Gene Roddenberry.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you?
It does, actually, yeah.
The man who created something called Star Trek.
There you go.
And he got slammed and kicked and refused by television. And they finally came out and they said to him, your kind of writing and your kind of drama makes people have to think.
Which
and
is
as
great.
everybody knows, nobody wants to think when they're watching television.
Now, would that be around the time where he asked you to be a part of that
And you turned it
project?
down?
No, that was years
That was
later.
years before.
No,
That was years
Gene was
before.
dead by then.
Yeah, that was before,
he
okay.
died in 1991. But the point I'm making is the fact that he was criticized, as they said. This was a kind of a corporate comment, a little snide.
Okay.
He said, your writing is too cerebral. And they were dead serious.
Dead serious about that.
You want to do what? You want to make a show about the future, and there is a space vessel that is almost 1,000 feet long that can go faster than light speed. So instead of going from planet to planet, it can go from solar system to solar system, and the second in command is a woman. Now, is this true? They had the papers.
That's right,
and they said, yeah, we have. Now, is this true that you want to make the second in command a woman? And he said, that's right. And one of these guys with the gray flannel suit and the Phi Beta Kappa key, who spends every evening at the tennis club in New York City, right?
Yeah.
He said, made the statement, he said, nobody would believe a woman in command of anything. Now, this is 1963,
63,
right?
okay.
The mentality.
Now, this man's name was Goldstein Klein or something, and I said, Gene, ask Mr. Klein, Mr. Goldstein, if he happens to recognize who is running the state of Israel just now.
There you go.
All right?
The female, yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And this is the attitude that people had. They said it's too cerebral. All right, let's take that description and put it in the music. When you have lyrics, no desire, no ambition leads me, maybe it's because nobody needs me, things like that. I mean, when
That's
we're
great.
using
That's great.
vocabulary,
I
when we're
love that.
using intelligent words.
Well, it's very nice. I notice even today, like I'm strictly just a music fan. Okay, I don't have any lyrics or anything in my body or anything, but I love listening to a
I'll
story.
bet you have some songs that you like very much.
Oh, I have lots, but as far as, singing, no. But I love listening to a story of a song. Like
There
when
you
somebody
go.
writes, it's the best. Like, it's way better than just repetitive on and on. It's the same thing. It's like
Feel the
really when you can
emotion.
listen, hey, there's a story behind
we
that
are
song.
facing a crisis in the entire atmosphere surrounding music. In this day and age, what they call rap music, which is the ultimate oxymoron,
Okay.
is in fact a pulse with a rhythm section that repeats, usually by machine, over and over and over again, because the kids today just want that rhythmic pulse so they can dance to it.
Bum, 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 bum,
But
bum,
what anything else in terms of melody or harmony or lyric is really superfluous.
There you go. So
All right.
Maybe it's just, I guess, just the
Now
sort
you
of,
have the technical side.
Okay.
How many times when you go down the street here, downtown, anywhere in the city, and you see people walking on the street or people jogging in the park, and they got those little white earphones stuck in here. We are living in the days of the little music and the iPods and all that stuff and everything, which is great. It's convenient, right? Except in order to get the data of music into a device this small, the music, as they say, has to be compressed. And there is a formula. They call it MP3?
Yes.
Right, okay. So the music bandwidth from the high treble to the low bass is being squeezed. And my comment that I said one day in a seminar at Rutgers University, where I was teaching at the time, my comment was, one day people are going to be so conditioned to hearing these things through those little earbuds, they're going to forget what real music sounds like. Now, when we play at Casino Rama, we have a 40-piece orchestra.
Wow.
That's great.
And
40
the point is,
wow.
But people come in and they hear music made for real, and with a brass section, with a string section, things, and they go, when they hear it, because everything else is coming through like that, and this is not right. It's like, for the sake of convenience, I'm going to take away your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, and I'm going to give you a little jar. Now, this pill is breakfast. This one is this is an omelet here. Toast, butter on the toast. Here's another pill, right? And I'm going to give you that, and you're going to take that, get all the nutrition from it. But what about the culinary art form? What about the pleasure of enjoying a meal?
You're missing it.
It's a bad metaphor, I grant you that. But the fact is, this is the thing that bothers me.
That's a great overview.
Consider that when the music is compressed so deeply, that to hear real musical instruments played by real musicians, people sit there and young people, they come to me and they say, well, I never heard music like that before. This is a shame. Now, in Toronto is exempt from that.
Okay.
You got jazz up here. There's been a man here for many years by the name of Rob McConnell. You've got symphonies and you've got things going on here.
Lots of blues clubs.
You can go out Toronto is a going city, as I said to you. You can go out and you can hear things like that. But how about the people in the little towns all across Canada, all across the United States, and anywhere else? They really don't have such an opportunity, and it's unfortunate.
Frank, I know you have to run. I would love to have you back anytime you're in Toronto. I really appreciate you coming here. We're blown away. Your advice and just the conversation we had, it's memorable. So it's just fabulous.
Thank you for inviting me to your house here.
Will you come back?
And we were coming to India with us. You heard it on the air.
Really?
He said yes, even though he didn't. I'm saying that.
What I mean is, it's everything. The atmosphere is cordial. The scenery is very nice.
And remember to check out Frank at Casino Rama. Go to his website too.
How do you rate such a beautiful woman sitting next to you?
I'm lucky. I'm a very lucky guy. She's a wonderful lady.
Well, don't get on her bad side. She'll kick you.
Oh, absolutely. Frank, before we let you go, if people want to check out your website, do you have one they can go to?
Boy, I don't know. Jenna, is there a website?
There's one for the casino.
Okay, so what? Okay. Yeah, so check it out, www.casinorama.com. You'll find out all the information regarding Mr. Sinatra, his performance coming up. Jenna, I want to thank you. This is fantastic.
He's going to be in Atlanta on
the
18th.
In Atlanta too, actually. Yeah, April 18th. So check him out, Taj Mahal at Atlantic City. There you go.
Oh, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
So if you don't catch him in Toronto, you can catch him in Atlantic City.
Yeah, he's going to come back here. Frank, we want to thank you again very much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Lovely.
Okay. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the Jay Stoyan Show with Ashlee Monroe. Woo!